Hello, welcome to Swag with Lady Kim, servants with the attributes of God. We're glad that you joined us today for another segment. We are so excited to have back Reverend Michanda Lindsey, who is joining us today, and we're going to be talking about women's issues. And I know that is such a cliche, women's issues, but there are some things specifically that we want to talk about today. One is how to be still. I know in our daily lives, in our day-to-day duties and activities, we have become super women. I think about the song that says she can stir up the bacon and fry it in a pan. That's what we're doing, but in doing that, we are losing some things in regards to spending time with God, learning to be still. Yes. And then I think maybe we'll see how things go. We might jump over into some other topics, really looking at roles of women in 2014. Yes. And I understand that, and I'm clear about the fact that there are no real defined roles for women today. We are doing so many things. Yes. We are astronauts, yes. We are doctors, we're lawyers, we're stay-at-home moms. But let's talk about maybe the perceived roles and some of how that is affecting us as women today in the 21st century, really. And so with the transformational coach and those things that you do in your world, yes. among other things, how do you help women, first of all, learn to be still?
That's a huge piece because we have so much going on in our worlds. And what I notice is that when we can take the time to breathe, and there's a beauty about just that inhale and holding it and then exhale. And it's just that reminder that it truly is a gift to be alive.
True.
It's a reminder that it is His presence in me that's moving me, and it helps me to stay connected with why am I in this moment? Not even in this life, but what's happening in this moment. And so stillness is so counterintuitive.
Yes, it is.
To all the things that we do. Because we are
yes.
moving, we are
yes.
working, we are
yes.
taking care of family, taking care of friends, we're serving,
yes.
we're doing so much. But without stillness, that center becomes lost, and we're not in alignment with who we are. And it becomes fragmented, and it's as if all this water, as an analogy, that has power, if it's dispersed, it doesn't really have its power. But when it's channeled, and when it's flowing in the direction that God has for it to, it is powerful. And stillness brings us to that place of being able to know, am I in alignment with what you are saying to me right now? And often it's what's happening up here and what someone else said and all these other pieces. But when I make time to get quiet, because the beautiful thing about God's voice is that He doesn't use neon lights. I mean, it's not like loud and still boisterous. It is that voice. Still,
yes.
And you know it. And to make room for it and to cultivate it so that you hear it at all times.
It's true, and I was thinking where we are going to get to talk about roles. One of the things that I'm experiencing even today is the sandwich generation, where I'm raising my own family and yet I am helping to care for my parents. Yes. And so many of us as women are finding ourselves, that's one of the roles that we really are dealing with. Absolutely. In 2014. We're in the sandwich generation. And so when you say to take that time to breathe in and breathe out and take that moment, oftentimes I even find myself trying to even find that time.
Absolutely.
Trying to even find that time.
Absolutely. And so because we all have, our technology and they can reach us all 24 hours now, and we don't have that 6 o'clock, nobody can call and there's one phone in the house, those days are gone.
Long gone.
And so what I say is literally putting it on your calendar and letting everyone know I have an appointment at that time.
Yes,
and I say that all the time because sometimes as women we have a harder time saying no because we were raised to say yes and to help, and you keep going, and then next thing you know we hit the wall because we did too much. When you start putting it on the calendar, and I tell people I can't do it at this time, I have an appointment, I just stop right there. Now, they don't know my appointments with myself. And it's not even
Right,
with myself.
right.
It's with me and my maker.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
that's my time. And that's the time that nourishes me and allows me to keep going. And that's the fuel. And I crave it more and more now because I recognize the contrast that it is in the
Yes.
world of
Yes.
doing so much and having a to-do list and having things that move from yesterday's to-do list to today's to-do list. And
True.
But I can always tell the difference, Lady Kim, when I have not made time for me. I'm cranky.
True, very
I
true.
am,
Very
you know,
true.
I'm short-tempered. I lose my patience. It doesn't even feel right. It feels like I'm walking in quicksand. And so it's my reminder, like, you did not make your time. And the times that I do, there's energy for days.
Wow.
And I'm in the flow, and it's just because I've made the time. So I've learned after knocking my head on the wall a few times
Yes.
that I want to make the time as opposed to being, you know, hitting the wall.
Yes.
And then I need to make time.
All right, so Reverend Michanda, I hear what you're saying, and as I say, I'm going to be a bit transparent here.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from myself and my
Yeah.
own experience. Sometimes I feel like if I make that time with myself, I'm being selfish.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were, because that's what always goes through our
Yes,
heads.
yes. And so help me transform this part of my thinking
Yes.
to understand, to really understand that I have to make time for myself and
Absolutely.
I have to be still. And if I don't do that for myself, I can't be a benefit to anyone else, to my husband, to the ministry, to my
Absolutely.
church family, to my
Yes.
natural family. And
Yeah.
so help me transform my thinking to get me to a place that I can schedule the time on my calendar, not feel like I'm being selfish, and understand that it benefits everyone, not just myself.
That's absolutely something that we all need work in and to help each other.
Yes.
Because Lady Kim's going to help me too. But we all need that help.
Accountability.
Yes, because it's the idea that we hear when you get on a plane and the flight attendants will tell you, you know, you lose pressure in the cabin,
Yes.
the oxygen mask will come down. Please put oxygen mask on you
Wow.
first
Wow.
before you do it to the person next to you. Why? There's a very, real reason why. Because when the oxygen pressure decreases and you're fiddling
True.
trying to help someone else,
True.
you will pass out.
True.
And now we have two people who are in jeopardy. And so as women, we are literally that heartbeat, we're the candle, we're the light in
Yes.
so many people's lives, in our home and in all those places that you mentioned.
Yes.
And so if I haven't put the oxygen mask on me, it's critical. It is as critical
Yes.
as it is for an airplane. I said, if the flight attendants know that,
That's true.
that's my
true.
reminder that I need to do that in my
That's
life,
true.
to say it is that critical. It is not selfish. That's an old idea
Yes.
that we just need to say it's not true. There's not truth in that. It would be selfish for me not to,
True.
because me thinking that I need to do everything is actually going to hurt everybody else in the long run.
Wow.
Because of my own need to feel as though I'm helping and doing everything, that's going to cost everybody down the line. And so I believe that we just take that word and say self-care is the gift that we need that keeps us going, so that we can give and stay being that light that we are. I mean, we have such powerful opportunities as women,
Yes,
because
true,
of our hearts and how God has created us to be. And when we're in that place of knowing it, the sky is the limit.
I love that analogy about put your oxygen mask on first. So ladies, somebody needs to tweet that. Ladies, put your oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
Then assist the person that you're traveling with.
Yes.
I thank you for that. I really do thank you for that, because having been a flight attendant
Okay, so you know.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
Yes, that was excellent. That totally resonated with me about I have to take care of myself first. And I
Yes.
wouldn't be able to help anyone else unless my oxygen mask is on first.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure that is being tweeted right now all over the country. Ladies, put your oxygen mask on first.
Yes.
So I appreciate that. And it's interesting that small things really do transform our lives.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we're looking for the big epiphany, and thank God we do have those sometimes, but I am giving God praise right now, glory, that I received that, because really that has helped me. And it was an analogy that I could relate to.
Yes.
And so now, as I look at the roles, and so many times I don't define roles, but I always say, I'm wearing this hat today.
Come on, yes.
I'm wearing the hat as
Yes.
the first lady, and then when I
Yes.
go to work, I've got on my hat, my work hat. And then
Yes.
when I go to take care of my dad, I have on the daughter hat.
Yes.
And so I have a lot of hats, but I don't know necessarily if that is defining me in a role. So what do you think about that? And what do women even have roles? Can we even associate that terminology, roles, with women in 2014?
I think that that's a very powerful question, and it's something for us to really contemplate, because yes, we do wear different roles, but I also think it's time for us to look even beyond the role and back to what we were first talking about. When we're in that place of stillness, and I'm hearing exactly what you're saying to me, God, in every moment, then it helps me to shift with grace and ease. I tell the story that when I was 39 years old, I learned
You're
how to drive.
39 now, right?
Okay, you can say that. Okay.
You're 39 now.
Yeah, okay, we'll pretend. Okay. But when I first learned how to drive a manual shift, I was 39 years old. And the first thing I said is, you should not wait until you are 39 to learn how to do this. Because for years, I've been putting the key in the ignition, hitting the gas. And I was so good, I can multitask. I can do all kind of things.
Right,
And then when you
you
put me in that manual car, it was rough. I told the kids they had to be quiet, no one talk, just pray.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm just thinking like, okay, does it have to go in neutral first? Okay, I gotta stop. It was so much thinking happening. But when we're still and we hear what God is saying,
Yes, yes.
then it's not me at 39 driving the manual shift car. It is that place of it's automatic.
Yes.
And I'm
yes,
easily
yes.
moving from
Yes,
where am
yes.
I right now? What is needed right now? And I think Jesus is the best analogy for that, because what do you need right now? Do you need bread? Do you need healing? Do you need encouragement? Do you need a word of truth? What is needed right then?
Right.
You know, because if someone's hungry, they don't need me to, give a
True.
dissertation
True.
about,
True.
how they should move on, and grow and expand.
True.
They need food.
True. And Jesus even speaks about that in the Bible, and he talks about us meeting the needs of those that we come in contact with. If there is a need, if they need clothing, if they need shelter, if they need water, we must first meet their need naturally. And then by meeting their need naturally, then we can go ahead and speak about the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Yes, absolutely.
And so even for us as women, I think that we've got to find that place to be still.
Yeah.
But I also like what you said, be still and hear what our Maker, what the Lord Jesus Christ is saying to us for our lives. And in that being still, also having that expectation that he is going to speak to us.
Okay, now I got excited.
Okay,
You said
okay,
the
all right.
expectation.
Amen.
Because it makes me think about one of my favorite scriptures is from Ephesians, and it talks about being filled with all the fullness
Oh my God.
of
yes.
God. And that just speaks to
Yes.
me for so many
Yes.
reasons. And then after that it says now. Not yesterday,
now.
but now
My
unto
God,
him
now.
who's able to do
Exceedingly.
exceedingly abundantly
Yes, speak,
above all
sister.
that we
Yes,
could ask
yes,
or think.
yes,
And so it comes
yes.
from when we are tapped in and I'm allowing myself to be filled, I want the fullness of
Yes,
you.
yes.
And this moment, then I'm not looking for an outer role to define me,
Amen,
because I know
amen.
who I am. And then in each now moment, I see the exceeding abundance that you're doing
God,
above
yes,
and beyond what could
yes.
ever be imagined.
Yes.
And it's in that still and quiet place that we hear the things that we could have never imagined that come to mind. That's where that mixture of who God has created us to be and who He
Yes.
already is in us comes together, and we have those divine inspired ideas, and it brings such soothing comfort when needed. It brings us, the word of correction sometimes when I
True,
need to
true.
hear that.
Yes,
like,
we
okay,
all
you need to
need
go
that.
back and
We all
apologize.
need
That was a
that.
little rough,
Yes.
sister. You said that. I need to, go back and make that right. And in that quiet place is where I hear that.
Yes. And so we thank God that we have learned today that we must be still.
Yes.
We must be in that quiet place, and we must look for the Lord to lead us, guide us,
Yes.
and direct us. And in doing that, we will have the fullness that He has purposed and desired for our lives. And so with that said, Reverend Michanda, we thank you again
Thank
for
you.
joining us here with Swag with Lady Kim. And so at this point, we say, keep it moving. Keep praying and keep it moving. God bless you.